If you want to know about the world of VC venture capitalists, this podcast is for you. Hi guys, I'm Prince Shivare. In today's podcast, I have with me my friend, my CFA colleague, Akash Sood, who is working in VC industry, and he's here to share all his insights he has gathered, like learnings, experiences from the world of VC. So we all are going to benefit from his experience, and we'll ask a lot of questions about the world of VC, how career pivots happen, how to transition to the world of VC, and there are a lot of things. So stay tuned, watch till the end, and there is a lot to come for you. So welcome Akash, welcome to our podcast, and I would like to invite you to introduce yourself. Yeah, you are going to do it in a better way. And recently
Yeah,
there's some episode
yeah.
happened as well now, so include that as well. So we are very happy to hear from you. Yeah, Akash.
Thanks, Prince. Appreciate you having me here, honestly. So, to give your viewers a bit of a background, Prince and I know each other through the CFA community. So, we're both very big on networking, and we met earlier in Feb this year at Pune. And since then, we've always tried to be in touch. And Prince reached out since I started working in BC earlier this year. And I'm quite active on LinkedIn. I like to post a lot about my learnings, how the experience has been. And yeah, so thank you for having me. It's some great stuff that you're doing. I'm sure all your viewers are benefiting from all the different types of people you're bringing onto this podcast. And I hope to maintain that level of quality today.
Right.
So,
Great, Akash.
so yeah. So I'm
So,
a
yeah.
CFA charter holder. I am working in Bombay right now at a early stage venture capital fund called Equanimity Investments. We're based in Powai, and yeah, the journey has been pretty interesting. Yeah, I'm 27 as of date, and I started my career in equity research back in Delhi, which is my hometown. I spent a year doing sell-side equity research, and I was giving my CFA level two at that time. Took a break for level two, cleared that, and moved to Deloitte in the business valuation department. Spent about 3 years there. Moved to Bombay. Uh, Enjoying Bombay once again because I was here earlier for college as well. So fond memories with the city. And spent 3 good years at Deloitte. I learned a lot. Business valuation can be so serving the Middle East clients as part of Deloitte's team. And earlier this year, I took the plunge to switch jobs. Spent a while trying to transition away from a core consulting job to, VC, which is very different in so many ways and really tough to crack. So spent a couple of months in the transition phase, upskilling, learning new things, and just sharing as I learned. And eventually, one thing led to another. I got a good opportunity to join Equanity's team, and here we are today.
Great, Akash. Wonderful journey. So I'll start from that thing. Like you said, we met in AI in finance, to be particular, no? AI in
Right,
finance in Flame University.
right.
So
Yep.
at that time we met, and like then we connected, and then the journey continued till now.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was a great event as well, and I enjoyed that event as well. So you just said
yeah.
ki you worked in sell side research, and like after Deloitte, and like you upskilling, networking, and all, which led to VC one.
Yeah.
So tell us something about sell side. We all know that buy side, sell side. Okay, the people who do not know about the research, there are two sides. Equity research, one is buy side and sell side. Buy side is like ki you are doing research for your own funds, and sell side is like Akash will tell you. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
so sell side equity research was actually my first job experience as well.
okay.
Uh, Official other than internships, which are good, but don't like count in my opinion as much. It's a great experience, but that was my first job out of college. And sell side is basically about doing research on various stocks, industries, and sharing that with your clients. So if you're managing a portfolio, it can be about doing the relevant research and deciding what to buy for your clients and managing their entire portfolio. Or what we also used to do was I used to write industry reports on various companies, various industries, and share the same with multiple people in our network, and they could decide whether they wanted to buy it or not. And they would ideally use our platform. like our company as
Got
an
the point.
intermediary to yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that's about it. Yeah.
yeah. Who are the end clients of in sell side? Okay, I want to hear from you. Like, what were your clients? Like, generic way, not don't be too specific about the companies. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, of course. So it was not a big massive operations, to be honest. We had about 3 to 4 crore in AUM. It was an uncle of mine who was starting this entire thing of his own, and he used to do it for himself, and then few friends and family wanted him to do it for them as well. So started out with smaller portfolios, bunch of HNIs who had bigger folios with other fund houses, but also wanted to take a bet with us. So average ticket size was and portfolio size was anywhere between 25 to 50 lakhs, and we were managing about five, 5 to 6 odd people like this, and just
Got the
helping
point.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The sell side is basically the research that is available to general public. No, we can access
yeah,
these reports. No, buy side are not available.
yes,
So these are
yeah,
specific reports for the fund houses as well. Okay, got the point.
right.
So what was the journey of consulting? That consulting is new to me. Like I have now been on that side of table. Yeah, please tell us about consulting. How was the
Yeah,
journey?
so I won't say Deloitte was core consulting. It was more into business valuation.
Okay,
So at Deloitte again, it was right after clearing CFA level 2, which is quite heavy on valuation. I thought this would be the best way to move forward,
okay,
and it was interesting because I had a 6 month contract to start off, and I had the chance to experience various verticals at Deloitte, and then I could choose which one I wanted to be a part of. So it's some central pool initiative, and overall consult like the business valuation team was pretty good because we weren't serving Indian clients or USI clients. This was a completely third different sector that we were catering to with member firms in the UK, the Middle East, Canada, Australia. So dealing with Deloittes of all these countries as our member firms, and their clients were the ones that we were working with. So
okay,
it was a good experience in the sense that we got to work with a lot of international directors and partners, and
okay,
obviously the end clients. And from a work profile perspective, I was and at an analyst level there. So it's interesting, yeah. I mean, you understand a lot of the workflows around DCFs, and you know how to calculate your WACs and
okay.
how to do different market approach and this and that. So you understand a lot about valuation. It's very different from what is actually in the books and versus doing it practically.
Okay.
Zameen asman ka farak hai bhai thoda sa.
Right.
And yeah, so dealing with that and really understanding how to speak to clients of that level, and dealing with companies who are well-established companies with good cash flows. And about 90% of our work was on Excels and modeling, and just getting on calls with multiple clients, trying to understand their company better and arrive at a fair valuation for their firm. So
Okay.
just to give a bit more flavor on business
Yeah.
valuation for people who may not know what
Yeah. Please.
it is in very simple terms. Let's say company A is your Reliance and company B is a smaller firm. Now Reliance wants to acquire this smaller firm, right,
Okay.
and make it a part of their company. So Reliance comes to a Deloitte, for example, and asks them to value that company for purchase. So business valuation is basically you working with company B to understand the entire cash flows, their financial statements, every in and out working of goodwill, intangibles, etc. And you end up ascertaining a value to the firm, and that's how so Reliance is the client, and the
Yeah. Got
small
it.
company is the
Yeah.
target.
So it's more like you're working for like different countries, companies which are like doing buy sell transaction
Yeah,
or some other transaction kind
yeah,
of thing. Yeah, got the point.
right,
So you were in the core valuation role.
right, yeah, yeah.
Okay. So from valuation to the world of VC, what are the skills that you brought directly from there and applied here? What are the new things you need to learn here? Right, both the things.
Now, honestly, I'd say moving from a Deloitte to a world of VC, and especially into business valuation to VC, is quite different. Like I mentioned, 90%, 80, 90% of our work was on Excels and modeling
Right.
financial statements and understanding projections and all that. And whereas in early stage VC, so Equanimity is early stage venture capital. And the workflow is very different because over there you're dealing with established businesses, established financial statements, right?
Right.
Whereas over here, you're mostly dealing with companies or founders who have just started out, right? And the ways of evaluating a company are very, very different. So here it's a lot, there's a lot more weightage on qualitative factors like
Okay.
the founder's quality, the founder market fit, how good is the business idea, what is the competition in the industry looking like, how if they've raised money up to now, how well have they been able to manage that money from a capital efficiency point of view. If they've done early pilots or they're already established go to market, how's the traction been? How's the interest? So these are very, very different things from what I was doing at Deloitte, right? So I really had to spend a lot of time to relearn and unlearn a lot of stuff and teach myself how to look at companies from a different lens altogether. Although I do feel there are some overlaps where now my experience at Deloitte has helped me in the sense that maybe once we get into the conversation later on, we can discuss the due diligence process. So
Okay.
as you delve deeper into due diligence, right, there's a stage when you do need to look at the financials of the firm and you do need to see the projections and
Right.
work on those Excels, right? But that comes at a later stage.
Got the point.
So I feel my experience at Deloitte has helped me with a better understanding of these statements and projections and realistically asking the right questions, and
Yeah.
setting the right expectations at the early stage. So yeah, that's something that's been very immediately transferable. But again, a major portion of your work in VC early stage, especially, is quite quite different from what we were doing earlier.
Okay.
And your second half of the question, sorry, I
Okay,
think
okay, yeah, yeah. I was asking you what new skills you need to learn. Like you said, qualitative factors and like
Hmm.
unlearning, relearning, and like you covered all the
Yeah,
aspects. So, matlab, in that Deloitte word, like established company you were dealing with. Now here are the new people with the vision and mission to do something great for the
Mhm.
world, some build something meaningful product, and like you need to assess whether the like whatever the founder is saying actually is doable or like strategy is sound or like ऐसा
Yeah,
ना यस सिर्फ ड्रीम्स है खाली ना so
yeah,
that needs to be assessed and valuation come
yeah.
later part so मतलब अभी क्वालिटी फैक्टर थोड़ा ज्यादा हो गया आप लोग के काम में ना अगर बात करें तो
Yeah, and even
इनिशियल बेसिस पे
like, yeah, 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 yeah,
ओके
definitely, definitely. Yeah,
ओके गॉट द पॉइंट इंटरेस्टिंग यार बड़ा मतलब फैसिनेटिंग वर्क है बहुत चलो ठीक है
yeah, it's
अभी
very different.
या
It's very different to be honest. काफी फर्क है. It's not something that you it's not something that comes very intuitively. You have to teach yourself how to do this, and it's
राइट
fun once you get the hang of it. It's really exciting being part of this ecosystem altogether because every day you're talking to people who are building such fascinating things. You're on the forefront of all tech evolution, so you have to keep yourself very up to date on what's going on in the market. You have to be someone who loves to read, who's very inquisitive in general about various sectors, about everything, in the sense that you want to be someone who can speak well, speak intelligently about various topics. And to do that, it doesn't have to be surface level, uh,
राइट
understanding of things. So yeah, that's something that
राइट यू नीड
if
टू
you don't
हैव
already have,
डेप्थ एज
you
वेल
have to.
या
Yeah,
डेप्थ
yeah,
एज
yeah.
वेल
There
या
needs to be depth. Yes, right.
Right. And ask smart
Yeah,
questions like whenever you are saying something, you need to ask
yeah,
मतलब
yeah,
really intelligent question कि okay because you are giving someone else money as well ना
yeah,
like we okay ठीक है मैं इतना डिटेल में नहीं जाता अभी पहले मुझे ये समझना है कि like एक बार अगर जस्ट सपोज इक्विटी रिसर्च का वर्ड आई नो इट वेरी वेल एएमसी हाउ एएमसीज फंक्शन आई नो इट वेरी वेल बिकॉज आई हैव बीन पार्ट ऑफ दैट जर्नी सो
yeah.
वीसी का वर्ड अगर सपोज जीरो से कोई स्टार्ट करे तो वीसी का वर्ड कैसा होता है हु इज एट द
So
टॉप लाइक स्ट्रक्चर
okay,
हाउ दे डील विद क्लाइंट्स एंड पैसा कहाँ से आता है कैसे पुट ऑन करते हैं और रिटर्न्स कहाँ से
yeah,
आते हैं एक बार पूरी जर्नी
cool.
सिंपलेस्ट मैनर में सो दैट एवरीवन
Yeah.
अंडरस्टैंड्स या
Yeah, yeah. Let's go deeper into probably understanding what is venture capital
या
because abhi tak we've had this conversation assuming सबको मालूम है, but
Right.
let's say for someone who doesn't even
Right.
watch something
Right.
like a Shark Tank, right? So how I like to explain venture capital in the simplest of terms is, since everyone knows the equity markets well,
Right.
think of a VC firm as a mutual fund who's sitting in the middle, right? And you've got your investors who are the ultra HNI, that's high net worth individuals. You've got family offices, you've got institutions, banks, who endowments who invest into this fund, which is a venture capital fund. And the VC fund's role is something like a investing coach where you use the money that's channeling into your fund through the wealthy folks, right, in the industry who have the risk appetite to invest in something like this. And you invest in new promising startup companies, right? So in very simple terms, that's the flow. We call these people over here the LPs, that are limited partners who invest into a fund. The fund manager is called a general partner, and
GPS.
the yeah GPs, and we invest in startups as per your fund thesis. So a
Okay.
fund thesis can be anything ranging from the kind of check size that you want to give a startup, what is your ideal sector, or what is the stage that you like to come in. So now, at the risk of going into too much depth, there are various stages at which a startup needs money, right? So let's say that, uh, think of a, like, if you,
Think
Prince,
of
want
me.
to
Think
start
of
a,
me. I'm starting a
yeah,
business. Like I have some
yeah.
great idea and all. So, like, take my
So yeah,
example.
let's say that you're building an EV scooter, yeah,
Yeah.
and now you've built a good prototype, right? At a retailer's level, we don't have all the money in the world. We can build up to a certain level, and we can rely on friends and family up to a certain level till we've built something which is ready to go to market, which we call
Right.
as GTM, right? But after a point, to scale that, to actually bring it to life, you need funds, right? So this is where people look at angel funds and venture capital funds. Angel funds are usually the first check right after your friends and family, who come in, and early believers when there's absolutely nothing, it's just an idea, and
Right.
they trust in you to do something with that money and actually bring that idea to life. Whereas mostly venture capital comes in after the angel stage. So personally, we come in at seed to pre-series A. So again, this is
Got
jargon.
the point.
Happy
Got
to
the
get
point.
into it
Yeah.
if we want to, but let's not.
Okay.
Okay,
So
so
I need to go to an angel investor if I want money for.
uh, ideally,
Okay.
ideally, you typically approach friends and family first, or you'd
Okay.
approach government grants. Then you'd go to the angels, and once you've established enough revenue traction, etc., you come to people like us who have the ability to cut bigger checks, right? So from that perspective, this is when a person actually needs a venture capitalist to come into the business. And VC funds being the ones who are already dealing with, like we mentioned, the rich, wealthy folks over here who are investing into this and want to take exposure to their portfolio, apart from equity, gold, crypto, all those other things, asset classes, fixed
Right.
income. You also, this is another asset class in its own, right? So this is the investor who wants to invest in these startups, does not have the know-how themselves. So they
Right.
want to give it to someone who does, right? That's where we come in. So very similar to a mutual fund setup, because our investors are going to get units of our fund, similar to how you get units of a mutual fund when you invest in equity, right?
Right.
And
Got the point.
we invest in startups, we create a portfolio of startups, and that's how it works, right? So
Right.
that's about what VC is and how it's
Right.
structured, where the money is coming from, where it's flowing into.
Right.
So from an organizational perspective, from a org chart or org structure,
Yeah.
you've got your partners who are at the
Okay.
top end, right? These are the senior leaders in the team. They
Okay.
make the final decisions on which companies to invest in, and they're like your head coach, and they're the investment committee who
Yeah.
have the final say in whether the fund will invest or not. Okay. Then we've got principals and VPs of the fund. So they are the stars who've been at the firm probably for a long time or in the industry for a long time. They have a deep understanding of how things work. They work very closely with these top level partners,
Partners.
managing partners, and all. And they're the ones who often are responsible for finding these
Good
interesting
opportunities.
deals,
Yeah.
yeah, good opportunities, vetting the potential deals, and then bringing it to the firm. So if you'd like to think of them as an assistant coach on your team.
Yeah.
And lastly, come the associates and analysts. Um, so we are the research engine, as I'd like to think of us. So we do a lot of the initial work, like market research, meeting with founders. You're creating financial models, not as much at this stage, but like I said, you're doing a lot of the back end, understanding a lot of the nuances that go into making the right investment and taking it to the team further, right? So that's in terms of who all are
Organizations.
employed, yeah,
Yeah.
and the org structure, right?
Okay. Got the point. Yeah.
Then, yeah, from our roles and responsibilities at a fund, as an analyst, I'd say, at least at our fund, finding deals is something that we consider it to be everyone's job. Okay,
Yeah.
it's an unsaid rule. Your deal flow is something that you have to work on. It helps you build better networks, which
Right.
in turn get a better deal flow. But this is again something majorly which the seniors and a lot of inbound interest also comes by your participation
Right.
in various startup events and whatnot. And just once you're an established brand in the market of as a fund, a lot of it comes through word of mouth, founders telling other founders, and it's spreading that way, right? So yeah, one is deal flow. Then you have to work on due diligence, which is, like I mentioned, understanding the company that you want to invest in as per your fund's thesis. You have to do a lot of the homework that goes into all of this. It involves checking the numbers, talking to customers if you have to, then making sure the company is legitimate, making sure the founder is the right founder to back, right? And another role that we do take up is once you're building this portfolio of companies, so we're not just bringing money onto the table, right? We're taking a reasonable minority into the company, and we are coming on as a board member as well, as a guide, as a supporter
Okay.
to guide you through various aspects of the business as well. So supporting portfolio companies is another role that we end up taking up. So
Got the
this is
point.
actually one of the most important parts as well, because
Right.
after you invest, you're a mentor to that person, right? And any problems that they have, you want to know it before anyone else. You want to be there for them. You want to use your network, your know-how, your skills and experience to make sure that that startup, who's a very early startup, is getting the right amount of support. So yeah, that's kind of the roles that
Yeah.
that we take up as VC analysts or investment side. Yeah,
ग्रेट आकाश मतलब यू एक्सप्लेन इन अ वेरी सिंपलेस्ट एंड ल्यूसिड मैनर सो करेक्ट मी इफ आई रॉन्ग मैं एक बार रिपीट करता हूँ ना जो मेरे को समझ में आया तो
please.
बस बस सिंपल सा है कि यहाँ पे मतलब रिस्क एपेटाइट ज्यादा है जिन लोग जो इन्वेस्टर्स हैं अच्छा पैसा है दे कम टू द वीसी फंड्स लाइक वी वांट टू इन्वेस्ट इन स्टार्टअप these kind of companies but we do not have the expertise so can you do it for us take certain amount of fees and bring some return for us okay so you guys
Yeah,
look for scout for opportunities and all if you found some good deals and you invest money and then they generate return and you revert the return to investors deducting your fees and all okay
yeah,
या
yeah.
सो तीन चीजें वीसीज
Perfect.
लाते हैं जैसे आपने बोला अभी फर्स्ट बोला था कि लाइक एक्सपर्टीज मतलब मेरे को जो सबसे ज्यादा कैची पॉइंट लगा कि एक्सपर्टीज लाते हैं वीसी क्योंकि खाली पैसा नहीं आ रहा है क्योंकि दे हैव इंडस्ट्री कनेक्ट्स एंड ऑल एंड दे आर वर्किंग विद सो मेनी
Yeah,
कंपनीज सो दे हैव बेटर एक्सपर्टीज एट दिस मतलब इफ अ फाउंडर experiences a certain obstacle in the business like the things are not moving so they have other founders as well who can guide who can मतलब, connect with like these
yeah,
kind of thing
yeah,
so expertise is one of the very big point of VCs funds तो लाते हैं और लाइक जो हाई रिस्क एपिटाइट के कस्टमर्स हैं लाइक इन्वेस्टर्स हैं उनको केटर करते हैं जनरली ये इंडस्ट्री गॉट द पॉइंट लाइक
yeah.
आप बहुत अच्छे से समझाया यार भाई आकाश थैंक्स फॉर इट और
Bhai,
ऑर्गेनाइजेशनल स्ट्रक्चर भी
yeah.
समझा मुझे अच्छे से ना सो
Like
अभी
the high risk investor is a very important point because
राइट
it's a semi-regulated industry. Okay.
ओके
And the minimum investment you can make into this is 1 crore.
AIF you guys are running
Yeah.
which AIF
As
AIF2
we're a category 2 here. Yeah.
cat 2 AIF no
Yeah.
yeah
Yeah.
got the point
So the minimum investment is 1 crore, right? And if you're asking someone to make a 1 crore investment, you need to look at it from a portfolio perspective, right?
right
Taking this kind of a risk in a portfolio, you can't be selling this to somebody or discussing this with somebody whose net worth itself is maybe 5 odd crore, right?
Right.
That'd be a big chunk of the portfolio in this asset class, which is considered risky.
Yeah.
So ideally, the kind of clientele, at least on a retail participants basis, is people around the 20 to 25 crore mark who
Okay.
have an established portfolio, building a lot of things, who have a well-established investments in other sectors as well. And this is something that can generate alpha in terms of all the other asset classes cannot, right? It's
Yeah.
historically known that um, these kinds of funds have the potential to really 5x, 10x your wealth in a
Right.
reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, returns is good, but as the risk is also there, no? So got the point. Like
Yeah,
category
exactly.
doing AIFs is matlab, also not for retail public. Like they are for higher net worth individuals who understand the risk, who appreciate the risk, and still
Mostly.
want to be part of that industry. Got that point. चलो ठीक है अभी बहुत ज्यादा
Yeah.
वैसा बात हो गया. So अभी ठीक है अभी डेलॉइट था, इक्विटी रिसर्च हो गया. अभी वीसी के वर्ल्ड में मुझे इतना पता है कि हाँ थोड़ा फास्ट पेस चीजें रहती हैं, लोग कम होते हैं काम ज्यादा होता है. सो हाउ योर डे गोज लाइक कि
Yeah.
मतलब भागना ऑफिस डील भागना बाहर कहाँ मोस्ट ऑफ टाइम ऑफिस में स्पेंड होता है बाहर स्पेंड होता है या फिर ट्रैवल करते करते होता है क्या कैसे रहता है
Yeah. So, पहले बात तो what you said exactly. It's कम लोग ज्यादा काम,
राइट
which is again what I love
ओके
because teams are very lean. Whether you're managing a $10 million fund or $100 million fund, जो काम तुम्हें वो पैसा डिप्लॉय करने के लिए करना है, that can be done by 2 or 3 analysts,
राइट
right? So it's not necessary that as the fund grows in size, the number of people working in the fund
या
have to increase.
या
Yeah, it can be done. And nowadays with AI, though, things have just gone to a next level, right?
यस यस
So yeah, funds are usually very lean, and our day, honestly, see again, this is something which is very subjective, VC to VC. Okay, it's not a general template that is कि सबका ऐसा ही रहता है. Some funds that are investing a lot into startups where they have a manufacturing facility or they're creating something consumer tech may or something. There I understand that you end up before having to make the investment decision, you have to go to this factory, visit it, see do all that due diligence, etc. But again, you're not doing that on a day to day, right?
ओके
Majority of the time you're in the office, you're on your laptop. If founders are in the same city as you, then you're meeting them at office. Or max to max, you're going meeting different founders at coffee houses, right? Understanding their business, doing your DD, first level of DD, and then coming back to the team, sharing your thoughts and discussing it internally, right? So majority of the day does go behind the laptop. Again, one thing we didn't talk about was the kinds of roles that you can take up in a VC, right? So broadly, there are three. Okay.
ओके
So one is being part of the investment team.
ओके
So the investment team is majorly responsible, as it's quite obvious, for
या
looking after the investments that we
इन्वेस्टमेंट
will be making into various startups,
या
right? Finding the right investment opportunities, getting the deals, so doing all that work. Second broad category is the investor relations and fundraising. So, like I mentioned, we are also not investing our own money, right? We are raising money from these LPs over here,
या
which we discussed earlier. So, the life of a fund is usually anywhere between 7 to 8 years
ओके
for one entire cycle of the fund to
या
complete and investors receiving their money back. And you typically invest this money over 3 to 4 years, right? So now let's say we started as a small fund, um, let's say $10 million fund. Now in 3 to 4 years, I have exhausted it. I have spent all that money, right?
डिप्लॉयड ऑल द कैपिटल यू आर सेइंग या
Deployed all the capital and it's going to vest now. I'm going to work on exits, right? But while I work on exits, I can't just be sitting idle. My investment team will go mad unke paas paisa nahi hota, right? So you also have to constantly be on a fundraise journey every two
राइट
to 3 years, right?
ओके
So you're again reaching out to various LPs. These can be existing investors or new investors. And fundraising is another important part to make the investment process continually flow. And that's why
राइट
you'd see like funds have fund one, two, three, four. So एक ही fund,
उसको ही
once you
मतलब
exhaust capital,
या
similar
सेम
thesis पे you raise more, raise more money.
या
And that's how a fund also grows in size,
राइट
right? So this is the second thing. First was investment team, second was fundraising. And the third is compliance. So,
Yeah.
like I mentioned, it's a SEBI regulated industry. So, there are a lot of regulatory and compliance factors that go into it. So, these are the three types of roles you can take, right? Now, depending on what role you serve at the firm, also depends how your day to day is going, right?
Okay.
It's again, as per your role at a
Yeah.
VC fund, you better understand what the day is going to be like. For someone in
Got the point.
investments, it may be that 3 out of 5 or 6 days of the week you're in the office, you're doing all the relevant calls with founders, doing building your reports, doing market research, etc., and assisting portfolio companies like we discussed earlier. So that's
Right.
something that the investment side is doing. If you
Yeah.
have to meet founders, you go for it outside. Then another thing that we travel a lot for, which I love, and a major reason for me joining this industry was something that sits well with my personality, I feel, is networking. You get a lot of opportunity to go out for various startup pitch meets, startup pitch days, and just in general, VC connects. So you end up meeting a lot of founders at these events. You end up meeting a lot of peer venture capital folks from various funds where you can explore synergies if you're looking at the same thesis, similar sectors. You can probably work on deals together, improve your deal flow. Just in general, it gives you a lot of different flavors and synergies to explore.
Right. Right.
So
Got the
that's
point.
again, so that's when you're stepping out as well.
Okay.
Fundraising, again, you're always on the move
Yeah.
because you're going out to meet LPs, etc., etc. On the
Right.
compliance side, I'd feel you're mostly at office doing a lot of work, a lot of documentation. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's how different roles can affect that kind
Right.
of
Got the point.
situation.
Like invest, yeah. IR is like you more selling the fund to the clients, investor. Like we have this
Yeah,
thesis and we are investing these kind of companies. And then if you want to invest,
yeah,
you come join us. These kind of thing. Na?
yeah,
Okay, I have some
yeah.
questions now. So you said ki we connect VC connects. Who organize these VC connects? Who are the organizers? Like
So this
private
can be
circle and
various.
all.
Yeah,
Like
so multiple people do it here. So like we mentioned, earlier spoke about the flow and the size of
yeah,
VC funds, right?
yeah. I got that
So
point. Yeah,
yeah, typically the ones who are investing at the angel stage or the early stage
yeah.
or incubator cells of various universities,
Okay,
government
okay. They
programs.
bring investors so that the
Yeah,
founders can pitch there. Okay,
yeah. So they have now it's much more established in India as well, where a lot of these incubators at the early stage, they have government funds or they have university funds that they are allowed to give to a startup. Obviously, the check size is much smaller, but it allows the startup that early runway. And these startups are, again, the same process follows. Even those incubators are acting as guides, mentors.
got the
So
point.
once they have screened through a bunch of startups, they organize these events with, let's say, their top 20, right? And they call various investors, various VCs to attend these events, listen to the startup's pitch, share their pitch deck, connect you with the founder, and that's the sort of event that
Yeah,
these guys
got the
mostly
point. I
organize.
have one more question, huh? Because as I have seen in the industry, the yeah AMC work happens through distributors. A lot of distributors are there. So is
Yeah.
there another middleman between VCs and the investors? Is
Yes, why not?
okay.
Yeah, so
So
so like let's say we can't reach all HNIs, ultra
okay, okay,
HNIs. Mostly a lot of them have their wealth managers managing something
okay.
for them, right? Like let's say an Axis mutual fund or a Novama,
Right,
which is Edelweiss, right? So the really rich folks are already dealing with these banks and AMCs and whatnot.
right,
So they also tie up with various venture capital firms, the
right.
ones that they have to do their due diligence about the fund manager, the thesis, the performance over the past couple of funds, how's it been? If it's something that they feel is within the check size of their customers, then they onboard you as an official partner and they distribute the fund for you. So then
Got the point.
you directly tap into their network, and anyone who's interested in an AIF sort of a product can do so through your wealth manager as well.
Okay, so like these banks, HSBC and all, Kotak and all big guys they have, and they deliver, they distribute your products as well.
Yeah.
Generally, as happen in the
Yes. Yeah.
AMC world, na? Similar kind of
Yeah.
background. Okay,
Yeah,
got
it's
that.
very common. It's very
Yeah.
common.
Yeah, matlab, that's the good thing. And you know, you
Yeah.
mentioned that networking is a very crucial part of our work because if you are not loving networking, you won't be able to matlab, bring new deals. And if you are not bringing deals, or like there will be some blockage and all. So great points.
Yeah.
ना networking तो यार वैसे भी इंटरेस्टिंग है अगर आपको मजा आ जाए तो just starting मतलब networking में
Yeah.
how's your experience till now मतलब खुद से कैसे
देखो
स्टार्ट किया नेटवर्किंग.
देखो यार, my thankfully I stumbled onto the right books and resources early on, and
Okay.
I was curious enough as well. You know, some of us may have the opinion that networking is just about receiving and growing my network so that जब मेरे को
Right.
जरूरत होगी तो everyone will be ready to help me.
Right.
But that's exactly what networking is not,
No.
right? Networking is more about giving and what all can you bring to the table for others. And what I learned early on was you need to learn to add enough value uh,
Got that.
unconditionally, and you always should try to be the person to offer some value to someone,
Right.
and then probably give have your ask as well,
Right.
right? So networking personally for me, yeah, it's a I'm really grateful I've acquired the skill, and you do tend to get better at it as you keep practicing it. It's a lot about getting out of your comfort zone because
Right.
it doesn't come
Yeah.
very naturally, right? The first time you go out to such events all on your own, standing alone in a crowd, not knowing whom to talk to, who would be interested to talk to you, and you just go say, "Hi, I'm Akash,"
Yeah.
and or "Hi, I'm Prince." It's a very different feeling. So I'd 100% recommend everyone do it, right?
Right.
And personally, मेरी story तो तुम्हें पता ही है, the way I landed my job. That was
Okay.
again through networking only.
Yeah. So got
So
that point
yeah,
as well. Yeah. So networking मतलब really powerful है मतलब initially जब मैं अपनी first job में था so I used to travel from
super.
Nagpur to Mumbai ना events के लिए. So मेरा खुद का experience है कि जितने भी networking event attend
Yeah,
किए ना हर event से मुझे कुछ ना कुछ कोई ना कोई person ऐसा मिला है the one who supported me in my career. So networking events are तो मतलब 100% go है बिना देखे register कर दो और चले जाओ. So and you will learn
100.
on the
Yeah, yeah,
on the go. So बहुत सारे लोग हैं अगर
totally.
सीएफए की भी बात करें ना तो द पीपल जस्ट आर मतलब watching like 50% of the CFA content material and all they are missing all like networking मतलब there are so many people who haven't attended a single event like that so they are missing
Yeah.
like a huge thing from the CFA vast curriculum and like the environment ecosystem the CFA offers so people are
Totally.
really the people who are watching this podcast generally are finance professionals so if you are not working on networking so you should start working on networking aspects as well because Akash just said कि इसको भी अभी जो current job है वो भी networking से ही मिला था कहीं networking is very helpful मतलब बोलते हैं ना
Yeah.
it is not much about how much you know मतलब ठीक है वो मैटर भी है but how much you know कम लेकिन who you know अगर आप सही लोगों को राइट प्लेसेस पे
Yeah.
जानते हो तो काम तो हर कोई सीख जाता है यार सीख ही जाओगे काम धीरे
Right
धीरे बट ये
place.
या
Yeah,
तो
right place and right time, honestly, man.
या काम तो
Nothing else
अगर
works. Yeah.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सो काम तो नंबर मतलब करते करते आ ही जाता है अगर आप में थोड़ी सी क्यूरियोसिटी है इंटरेस्ट है काम करने का
Yeah.
तो वो तो अच्छी बात है एक क्वेश्चन और था मेरे को हाँ अभी यू सेड कि नीड पे पहुंचते हैं बहुत सारे लोग ना थोड़ा सा इस पे बात करेंगे ये थोड़ा इंटरेस्टिंग पॉइंट है जैसे सब जब भी लोग लिंक्डइन पे भी शायद तुझे भी मैसेज करते होंगे ना आकाश कि लाइक
Hmm.
मेरा रेज्यूमे रेफर कर दो ये कर दो वो कर दो ना सो देर आर
Yeah.
सो मेनी पीपल लाइक मतलब दे पीपल अप्रोच इट लाइक रिवर्स मतलब पूरे ही उल्टा खेल रहे हैं इसको ना सो नेटवर्किंग पे जब जरूरत
Yeah.
है आपको तब नहीं पहुंचना है पहले से अपना सेटअप बना के रखना है मतलब वैसे लोगों के बीच ही रहना है जो आपको कभी नीड आए तो सपोर्ट कर पाए बट फर्स्ट यूनिट टू गिव
Hmm.
जैसे आकाश ने बोला कि आपको अनकंडीशनली देना है आप इस माइंडसेट से जाओगे मुझे लेना 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 है तो सब लोग आपको
Yeah.
रिपल कर देंगे आप अट्रैक्ट ही नहीं कर पाओगे अच्छे लोगों को ना सो ग्रेट पॉइंट आकाश ना सो आकाश अभी मेरा एक क्वेश्चन है सो किसी को अगर वेंचर कैपिटल में जाना है सो
Hmm.
कैसे किसी के लिए क्या बात है बहुत सारे लोग देख रहे होंगे इस पॉडकास्ट को बहुत सारे लोग देखेंगे सो सबका सबका
Hmm.
इंटरेस्ट होता है पीई वीसी तो सबका डेस्टिनेशन होता है कि ड्रीम ड्रीम इंडस्ट्री होती है फाइनेंस के लिए सो कैसे कैसे
Really?
अप्रोच कर सकते हैं इसको लोगों को या पीई वीसी
हाँ.
का गेम तो सबके लिए यार फाइनेंस में थोड़ा सा है पीई वीसी इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग या
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fair.
व्हाट्स योर
There
एक्सपीरियंस
is that. There is a lot of glamour around it,
ओके
but it's as simple a job as any other job, right? बाहर से शायद लगता होगा बहुत shiny and fun, but again, once you're in the job, it is as simple as it gets.
ओके
So again, because I spent the first couple of months this year transitioning, I spent a lot of time upskilling and understanding the right ways to break into this industry. So that's something that has probably prepared me enough for that opportunity job IT with my current boss, where I met him at an event and shared my resume, had the interviews. So everything happened so quickly once it did that the 2 month wait seemed very short,
Right.
right? It all seemed very worth it because those 2 months I spent so much time trying to understand the right sort of things and how to be a VC before being a VC, right? So what I'd say here is something I learned that time is like a T skills framework. Okay, T-shaped. So here what happens is you're also doing a horizontal level of learning where there's a lot of where you're working on broader skills. I think we touched on this earlier as well, that it's a lot about you being curious and having a general understanding about various things like technology, business models, different types of industries, what's going on in the world, what's going on in the startup ecosystem. You need to be a very quick study. Okay. Like you have to be someone who really likes to read and read the randomest of things. I don't care like which industry it is, who's getting funded here, there. But all this reading leads to me being able to speak intelligently in front of a crowd in certain networking events when I'm doing my job, right? So that's the horizontal level where I feel that you have to build a lot of skills, and being a reader is going to be very important for you. And now the vertical part of the T, where you eventually build deep expertise, right? So this is where you've got a specialization, and this comes with time, of course. Once you're in the industry, it could be consumer tech, fintech, marketing, finance.
Okay.
Whatever you really believe is your core interest, you go deeper into that and build some real expertise there, right?
Got
So
the point. Yeah. So
yeah, and
you
and you
briefly, yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
yeah. So again, and another very important thing that I understood and always felt would be valuable in this industry is empathy. Empathy. Now, you may be wondering what does empathy have to do with anything that we're doing here? But you have to realize you're working with startups, you're working with early stage founders. These are people who have left their job, put in a lot of their money, time, effort, employed a bunch of folks, and are hustling day in and day out to create something, right? Now, it's possible that what they're creating maybe is not the right thing at this moment in time. It's possible that it does not sit well with your fund thesis, right?
Right.
And you have to reject or say, sorry, we won't be investing, right? But at the same time, you cannot get arrogant about it.
Right.
So it's very important to live the life of a VC from an empathetic view towards the founder and realize that we are only a facilitator in this entire exercise.
Ecosystem. Yeah.
पैसा इनका है, business इनका है. हम बीच में we are the ones studying things, right?
Right.
So having that level of empathy is something that really helps. It's something that we really focus on very deeply at Equanimity. We don't like to ghost companies. If it's a no, we're very upfront and um, transparent about it because, since again, this industry is so small. Okay,
Right. The world
इतनी
of
इतनी छोटी है
yeah.
कि whatever happens, everyone gets to know, right?
Yeah.
So you don't want to burn bridges with anyone
Right. Right. Right.
because you don't know the one you rejected today because of your thesis. Maybe the next Uber or Amazon or Meta,
Right.
you know. So you always, as a fund, also you always want to keep uh, doors open. You always want to be in touch with these startups
Stay
and
grounded. Yeah.
here, yeah, stick around and just be informed about any updates so that you can reevaluate later in the future. I
Got
tell
the point.
all the founders that I have to say no to that. Yeah, today we are not investing, but that does not mean 1 year from now, when we reevaluate this, we won't be
Yeah.
interested, right? So it's all about time. And I'll tell you another fun story. So if you've seen my LinkedIn, it says helping early stage founders
Yeah.
scale,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, that's something I've been working on, trying to build sort of a brand where I can improve my deal flow, improve the quality of stuff that I'm posting, and reach out to multiple founders, right? So something funny happened. A random student reached out,
Okay.
second year BTech, and he was
Okay.
building something. And then I was like, of course, like I welcome all founders with very open arms. I'm like, yes, sure, please deck bhejo and let's evaluate. And then he was like, okay, sir. And abhi tak sir pe baat ho rahi hai. And I'm like, yeah, please don't call me sir. My name's Akash. Like, I'm not even that old that I deserve to be called sir or something. And ठीक है वो एक हफ्ता 10 दिन चला. And then once our team evaluated internally, we decided it was probably too early or whatever the reason was, and
Got
we
the
had
point.
to pass, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as I passed, now this story I'm telling you because how important it is to not burn bridges, right?
Right.
From my perspective as well as the founder. Now, like I already told you, we are very transparent. We don't ghost. So I messaged him personally. I messaged him, wrote an email to him, marking my partners. Ki, boss, it's not the right stage for us. Probably we can explore in the future and just let us know how
Right.
things going. This fellow has gotten so angry and he started taking personal shots at me that you should probably change your LinkedIn profile. It's a complete lie that you're helping early stage founders. And 10 चीजें सुना दी उन्होंने.
Got the
And
point.
obviously now I'm not going to fight with you. I'm just going to be professional and tell you that, okay, we passed, but again, there's no reason to burn these bridges.
Yeah.
And now what this does is for that founder, chalo, I'm not the kind of guy who will go around spreading his name or spreading bad, good, like, ruining his goodwill anywhere. But not everyone would be of that same mentality. If you cross somebody, they can very well, you know,
Right. Right. Right.
make life hard. So again, as a founder, also you don't want to be burning these bridges because even if I'm not trying to make your life hard, I'm sharing an experience with you.
Right.
And if your name of your company or your name comes out, then other funds also don't want to deal with you.
Right. Right. People
Right.
want good
So
people. Yeah. I mean, first
yeah,
criteria is that.
you want people who are confident and not arrogant.
Right.
They know what they're doing. They're good people. They're building good businesses. So yeah, that's again another aspect of a kind of skill that you need to develop
Got the point.
is
Yeah.
having a lot of empathy
Yeah, matlab, you
towards.
said that Rajesh sir, matlab, I've interacted with him a lot of times in the events I used to attend. So he's matlab, also like the values are flowing into you. I can matlab, sense that same
Yeah,
values we are talking about. Matlab,
yeah,
like उनके लिए तो I am no one ना. So still he talked with मतलब like बहुत प्रोफेशनली बहुत अच्छे से बात करना लाइक कि मैं अभी कोई फंड चला रहा हूँ ऐसे अच्छे से बात करते हैं तो लाइक इट्स अ गुड गाय. सो और ये पॉइंट जो भी था कि आप यू कैन नॉट बर्न ब्रिजेस क्योंकि हम लोग पब्लिक में नहीं बात करेंगे बट वी आर फ्रेंड्स ना तो हम पर्सनली तो बात करेंगे कि यार उस
definitely.
पर्सन ने ऐसा
Yeah,
किया एंड इफ आई एम इन्वेस्टिंग तो आई विल ऑलवेज कीप दैट इन माइंड. सो मतलब एम्पैथी इज अ वेरी ग्रेट पॉइंट. और यार मतलब मेरे को थोड़ा सा जो मेरे एक्सपीरियंस में बताता हूँ यार थोड़ा सा ना क्या होता है कि फाइनेंस इंडस्ट्री ना नंबर्स पे ड्रिवन होती है. हमारी इंडस्ट्री नंबर यू गाइस आर मतलब फॉर्चुनेट टू हैव गुड पीपल लाइक गुड वैल्यूज फ्लोइंग इन द ऑर्गेनाइजेशन. हैट्स ऑफ टू यू गाइस. सो बट द पीपल जितना ज्यादा नंबर्स के साथ काम करते हैं ना तो वो थोड़ा सा इमोशनल टच थोड़ा सा फील वो हो जाता है कि दे वो जस्ट वांट नंबर्स नंबर्स नंबर्स. सो फाइनेंस इंडस्ट्री थोड़ी सी सम टाइम ब्रूटल भी हो जाती है क्योंकि आप लोग हमेशा हर टाइम नंबर पे काम कर रहे हो. सो देर इज
yeah,
लेस लेस प्लेस फॉर इमोशंस more for numbers like brain facts data and number
facts.
are less
Yeah.
valued. So sometimes it happens with people. Okay, so give me three pros and three cons. Just what you briefly touched upon कि यार इतना ग्लैमरस नहीं है ये नहीं है वो नहीं है. सो दोनों साइड बता दे भाई एक बार जल्दी से फास्ट.
Pros and
हाँ
cons.
ये
Yeah.
कॉन्स में तो सोचना
Pros.
पड़ेगा इसको अभी भी काम कर रहा हूँ.
Pros में तो यार, I like I said, learning is a very important thing. You get a
Yeah.
you get a front row view of every new innovation in the
Yeah.
in the industry, new technologies, businesses, startups creating wonderful things. Uh, at some level, uh, it's very fulfilling in sense of you're helping people create real impact.
Yeah.
It's fully front end work. You know, it's you're dealing with real life situations, real life businesses. So you're helping build companies that solve big problems for a lot of people.
Yeah.
So that's something which is very, very fun. And it's exciting to think कि यार हम भी ये काम कर रहे हैं, because
हमारा भी
at
रोल
the
है,
end of the
हमारा भी
day,
रोल है, वी हैव अ रोल टू प्ले, या ग्रेट
yeah,
पॉइंट.
yeah, at the end of the day, we're all simple people here. So working in such an industry, if you just sit back and reflect, these are few things that you do think of as a pro, right?
ग्रेट.
And like being a sector agnostic fund, yeah, it's a lot of variety. I'm dealing with different startups, different industries every day. I'm getting to learn about a lot of different things that people are building in, whether it's aviation, fintech, edtech, space tech, whatever, right? So days and from a cons perspective, यार ये तूने गलत सवाल
यस,
पूछा.
कौन सा बताने गया
Uh,
भाई.
but I think cons lesser from a working perspective, from an industry point of view, it's a long term horizon. You have to be very very patient. Like I said, 7 to 8 years is the average tenure for a fund to start realizing any return,
ओके.
right? So from that
Akash,
point of
Akash, I
view,
will I will bring back to the main topic. Like you are deviating from the topic. You are
ठीक
so
है.
as a career,
Cons,
yeah, as a
cons,
career, yeah.
cons as a career will be with high pressure. Okay,
High
you're
pressure.
managing other you're managing other people's money.
Yeah.
Okay, and any industry that's managing money knows the kind of expectations that come with it. So the stakes are really high, and on a day-to-day basis, you're responsible for a lot of important things, be it from an LP's perspective or from the startup's perspective that you're dealing with. क्योंकि वो उस बंदे का घर-बार सब उस पे चल रहा है.
Right.
So your guidance can either make or break things.
Okay.
Then the hardest thing that I find in this job is having, like, now I've learned it, but initially what I struggled with was saying no.
Saying no.
Like I
Okay.
mentioned, yeah, like I mentioned, it's like 95% of the time you're going to have to say no to people.
Okay.
Sorry, we're not going to be investing, or
Right.
it's not our stage, it's not our
Right.
current
Right.
portfolio में बैठ नहीं रहा है. क्या किसी तरह करके you have to reject.
Right.
So
Got the
that
point.
is very hard because at the same time you're also empathetic, but you also have to look after the fund and the investors and the thesis, and you have to make that balance, like that
Okay.
balance. So these are a couple of things that
ठीक है. You are short of words. Okay, I got that point. Yeah,
yeah.
saying no is really a crucial skill because when they come to the table, like they have a lot of hope, aspiration कि पैसा आ जाएगा तो like वो result पे सीधे oriented हो जाते हैं. Like when you are going to say no, it hurts them. Okay, and the last
Yeah.
question is which one skill you have covered? Okay, tell me one book, one podcast, or one resources that is helpful in the world of VC.
Oh,
Yeah, one
very
thing just.
nice,
Yeah.
very nice. So one book which I recommend to everybody, is VC Deals by Brad Feld.
Okay.
It's going to give you from scratch everything that you need to know about this world from an investor's perspective, from a founder's perspective, from a legal perspective, from all the jargon, all the terms. Everything that you need is in this book. So if you're
Okay.
starting out, if you don't know anything about the industry, pick this book up. It's a big fat book. It's a bit
Okay.
expensive also, but make that investment in yourself.
Okay.
You will learn
Great.
so much, and then it depends on how inquisitive you are. And from a podcast perspective, I listen to Sandeep Jethani and the Neon Show and a couple of others. Yeah, but again, a lot of funds also have their own podcasts, like Stellaris and IPV. I think also do have a podcast. So it's in general just type about startups.
Yeah, yeah.
Our
और
junior
बाकी.
VC has his own podcast.
या
So
और बाकी राजेश सर
yeah.
कैसे हैं यार? तेरे तो बॉस हो गए अभी आराम से बोलने का.
Rajesh is honestly he's a great personality. Yeah, you've met him yourself.
या या
He's very warm, very welcoming, very approachable,
या
uh,
ग्रेट यार.
and he's great at what he's doing, which is why he's managing partner at a VC fund, and he's raised his own fund. He's been in the industry for so long now, so it's great having the chance to work with him, learn from him, and the team overall as well. It's a great balance, and yeah, super.
गुड आकाश
It's
यार,
been
मजा आया,
great.
मतलब यू ऑनेस्टली सारे जवाब दिए। जो नहीं दिए वो थोड़ा ट्राई किया कि बोल भाई बोल। अरे मजा आया जनरली
But
यार, मतलब अच्छी
yeah,
अच्छी इंडस्ट्री है, मजेदार है। लाइक सबसे बड़ा पर्क तो मुझे यही लग रहा है कि यार जो इनोवेशन बिल्ड हो रहे हैं सबसे पहले आ रहे हैं कि क्या चल रहा है इंडस्ट्री में, क्या बन रहा है। सो दीज आर सम ऑफ द पर्क्स है, अच्छी बात है,
yeah,
बहुत मजेदार
yeah,
है।
yeah.
एंड आकाश, मतलब आई होप कि यू डू वेल एंड यू बिकम अ जनरल पार्टनर वन डे।
Inshallah. God bless.
गॉड
But no, yeah,
ब्लेस।
honestly,
या
likewise, thank you for having me on this.
या
You remember how I was a bit skeptical. I was like, "यार, क्या पूछेगा, क्या करेगा?" But very free-flowing conversation. Thanks for
राइट
keeping it that way. Came out really naturally. And at the same time, whoever views this, happy to connect. I like to believe I'm very approachable. Happy to connect if you have any questions. Please reach out to Prince if you want my number or something, or we can connect on LinkedIn. You can just
राइट।
explore any synergies and any way I can help. Happy to.
ग्रेट ग्रेट यार आकाश, अच्छी बात, बहुत अच्छी बात है। हेल्पफुल नेचर, वॉलंटियरिंग, इट्स अ गुड थिंग। सो गाइज,
Yeah.
आकाश जैसे स्पीकर्स बहुत कम आते हैं। सो मतलब आई एम थैंकिंग ऑन एवरीवन्स बिहाफ टू यू आकाश फॉर जॉइनिंग अस फॉर टुडेस
Thanks,
पॉडकास्ट।
man.
थैंक यू सो मच, और होप आप लोग को भी मजा आया होगा। इनसाइड द आपको वीसी वर्ल्ड के इनसाइड का एक थोड़ा सा ग्लैंस मिला होगा। कभी और कुछ लाएंगे बढ़िया सा। और टिल नाउ स्टे ट्यून्ड एंड विल ब्रिंग विद सम अनदर पॉडकास्ट। थैंक यू गाइस, थैंक यू सो मच फॉर
Cheers.